Hi, everybody. It's Monday, so it is time for me to impart to you some of my life and biz wisdom. I actually have not done a live from my desktop before, and I'd forgotten that I'm going to be back to front or sideways or something. So this will be fun. I thought I might as well do that and just change it up a little bit. And what I decided to talk to you about today was, and I'll look at the camera so that I look like I'm looking right at you. Much easier with my iPhone. That's what I'm used to. I thought I would focus on some of the tips and tricks that I provided or offered in my recent webinar, which was Finding Phenomenal Focus. So for those of you who are more recent members, you may not be aware that I held a webinar a couple of weeks ago. And to me, focus is just so imperative. I actually used to think that time was the most important resource that we have. But I actually think now that it's focus, because whatever time we have, how little or how much, it's what we focus on, it's how we spend or what we focus on during that time that we do have that brings the best results. So that's why I thought I'm really focusing on focus at the moment with people that I'm working with and with all of you. And as I said, I thought, well, in case you didn't have a look at the webinar, if you didn't catch it, or in fact, as a reminder, if you did in fact watch it, I wanted to give you, a couple of tips to go away with for the rest of Monday. So the first thing I want to say is that really, when I think of focus, I think of it in two ways, like two sides of the same coin. And what I mean by that is that it's a matter of prioritizing and actually deciding what are your biggest priorities. And so that's the what to focus on. And then it's also, of course, about the how to focus. Hello. Oh, Joy, that's you. I've got to look to see where the writing is on. I was just saying before, if you hadn't joined me before, Joy, or anyone that it's my first live that I've done from my desktop. So it looks a little bit different. Anyway, I was talking about some tips and tricks from my webinar, and I was talking about the fact that it is two sides of a coin, what to focus on and then how to focus, because I think that if we know what our priorities are, but we actually don't know the action, the behavior around focusing, then we're not going to have the efficient and effective focus that we want. Similarly, if we are perhaps really good at focusing in terms of the behavior, as I said, but we're focusing on the things that aren't going to take our business and our life forward, then that's really counterproductive. So we do need both sides of that coin. And the way to focus on the what in terms of focusing is, and the way that I use it the method that I use the most is the important emergent priority matrix. Now, you don't have to use this one. There are lots of other methodologies out there, but I find it's simple to me, it's clear. It really helps me decide whether something's urgent or important. And what I mean by that is urgent is something that's like a crisis. You have to stop what you're doing, whatever you're doing, and attend to it now. So in our personal life, it could be something like a medical emergency. It could be perhaps a client who's really distressed in your business, if you accept urgent calls or contacts in that way. It can be in any area of your life. Usually, some sort of emergency. As I said, it's something that you need to attend to right there and then. That's why it's urgent. And then there are things that are important, and they may or may not be urgent. So something that's important and urgent would be, of course, something like your family member or yourself, some sort of emergency. But something could be important that isn't urgent, and this is a group of activities that we really want to be focusing on the most. And because they will be the things that when you focus on them, you'll drive your business and your life more forward. And that is a lot around self-care and also around relationships and also on what you do for your rest and relaxation so that you can achieve, hopefully, some semblance of work-life balance. So you want, those things may not be urgent, as I said, but they are important. And if you can prioritize those by booking those into your calendar, that will actually, those are the areas that are more about fulfillment in life. Physical activity, exercise. And in fact, like I said, they're not urgent, but if you don't attend to them, they can then become urgent and important in those crises that I was talking about before. We also have distractions, interruptions, which might be somebody else's agenda. They want your attention, your focus, but it's not what you are doing. So if you work with others, for instance, you can be interrupted by people you work with, or you're focusing on something, with the family and the kids are interrupting or something. So it's urgent, certainly, because you're being interrupted in that moment, but it's not necessarily important. If it was important, then it would be, as I said before, the crises. And then the final part of the matrix is when something's not urgent nor important. And they're the distractions. They're the surfing the net, the looking at emails, the watching TV blindly and that sort of thing. So really you want to minimize those as much as you can, or keep them for a reward, for times when you really need to chill out. We want to enjoy things, and if you enjoy doing those, that's great. But don't make them your highest priority if you haven't already attended to the things that are going to be moving your life forward more so. Watching TV is not going to move your life very much, I wouldn't have thought. Certainly not in comparison to other things. So that's really quickly about the what with regards to focusing, what to focus on. Just a couple of little tips to finish off with around how to focus. I said in the webinar, how do we do focus? So there's a couple of things, and really the first thing stems from having just talked about the urgent important matrix, is from your list of to-dos, if you can prioritize them using something like the urgent important matrix, or as I said, if there's another method that you like to use. But from whatever you've got in terms of all your tasks, to actually focus on 1 to 3 for your day, and only one at a time. It's the most fundamental advice or tip that I could give you around focus, is to focus on one thing at a time. We're not good at multitasking. And when we are really truly focused, in other words, we're turning off distractions like email notifications, Facebook message pings and all that sort of thing. When we're, if you work better in a quiet environment, having the right environment that will facilitate, support your focus is really important. You might like really nice music. I think, Joy, if you're still with me, you said last time you quite like the doof music, and I'm the opposite. In fact, I prefer complete quiet because I get too easily distracted, I think. You want to also look at what it is that you're focusing on, making it fun and playful even. So I gave the example in the webinar of maybe doing your ironing, which personally I don't like doing and I try not to do as much as I can. But maybe you could do a bit of a jig while you're doing the ironing, or singing or something where you can actually make it more fun. So doing that type of thing, when it's more playful and fun, of course we enjoy it more. It also means we then get more of a dopamine hit. And that's what we want, because the more that we can actually get a natural high from having focused and getting some results, the best motivator that is to then do it again and again. And that then goes back to why it's so important to be focusing on the right things, the things, as I said, that are going to be really beneficial for your business and for your life. I'll just have a look to see if there was anything. Oh, yes, one last thing I want to say, and then I need to leave, is to really focus, use your times of the day where your energy is the greatest. And this time of the day is probably mine. For somebody else, it might be first thing in the morning. There's lots of night hours out there as well. If you haven't done it already, do an energy audit. And if you'd like some information, I can actually send one to you. Just message me or put it in the Facebook group, and I'll be happy to send one to you. Or I can actually even post it. I'll just post it. I'll put it in the files section. There we go. And it's really good to actually track how your energy is throughout the day and do it over a couple of days, so you get a bit of a pretty accurate sense. And use the time when you've got your greatest focus in terms of your energy for the things that are really quite complicated, that require more concentration. And then the times when your energy ebbs a little bit, then you can do the things that don't require so much attention, or perhaps aren't, they can be more lower level sort of type things to be doing, rather than the things that are really, really important. So be mindful of your energy. It's as important, if not even more, than managing your time. And focus is the key, I believe, to success in life, pretty much. That's how strongly how valuable a commodity, a resource, I think that it is. So there's a few tips that I've been able to give you, share with you. If you have any questions about that, if you would like to make any comments, leave any questions. The other thing I want to say is that I'm going to be opening up a couple of spots in my calendar this week and next week. If you would actually like a free 45-minute get back into focus clarity session or call, then just let me know, and I will happily, have you booked in. I can provide the link in the comments. I'll do that a bit later tonight, so that you can book a call in with me. So what we can do is find whereabouts you're losing your focus. Where's it run off to? Because sometimes we don't know. It just feels like, a mishmash all over the place. And then what might be just the start of heading you in the right direction, so that you can find that focus. Because when you get the focus, you get the clarity, and you get inspired action happening, and you feel a lot better about yourself as well, because you're getting that dopamine hit that I was before. So I would love you to make contact with me by booking a call. In the meantime, I bid you farewell, and enjoy the rest of your Monday night. And I'll put the link for the call and an example of an energy audit form. I've got to think of a nicer feminine energy word instead of audit. So perhaps if anyone's got any suggestions, you can put them in the comments, and I'll give it some thought as well. Okay, thanks so much for watching the replay, hopefully. And I see you in the group again soon. Bye.